The time for gamesmanship is over. What do my Republican colleagues not get about that? The world is on fire. We have real challenges here in America as we're trying to keep the great American middle-class dream alive for people all across the land. And it's my hope that my Republican colleagues, who only represent barely half of 1/3 of the federal government, will come to the conclusion that the only way forward is to find bipartisan common ground.
That's Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader in the House of Representatives, just saying it like it is. And as MAGA Republicans go on the floor of the House of Representatives claiming that Robert E. Lee was a founding father, I kid you not, I'll show you what Marjorie Taylor Greene said. And as MAGA Republicans just make up these utterly weird and dangerous lies about woke this and the military's too woke and just a bunch of nonsense. Look, Democrats are taking things serious, and that's what I'm looking for. Adults in the room who act seriously. Here's another clip of Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries explaining that these MAGA Republicans want to shut down the government because that's their whole agenda. They want to destroy the country. That's what they're trying to do. Here, play this clip.
Being delicate with my words here. The novelty of my friends on the other side of the aisle in terms of how they come up with language that disguise their intentions. Translation, they want to shut the government down. Because many of my Republican colleagues fundamentally do not believe in a functional federal government which is designed to meet the health, the safety, and the economic well-being of the American people. They're not interested in a functional federal government. How do we know that? Because for the last 25 plus years, Republicans, largely led in the House, have repeatedly shut the government down. It was my hope that under new management, there would be a different approach, and that remains to be seen what will happen in advance of November 17th. But let's be clear. The only way forward is in a bipartisan way to pass a continuing resolution at the fiscal 2023 level. We are not going to allow Republicans to try to impose right-wing cuts that devastate and undermine the health, the safety, or the economic well-being of the American people, because they are unable to achieve their policy directives outside of threatening a government shutdown. We have never paid a Republican ransom note in the context of their threats to shut the government down. We've always stood on the side of the American people, and we will continue to do that in advance of November 17th and beyond.
And so now compare that to just a completely unserious MAGA Republican. This is MAGA Republican Ralph Norman, who, and I want to give the questioner here from CNN, Katie Buldon, some real props here, saying that, look, you use the Congressional Budget Office rankings when it suits your needs, but now that it says that the latest scam that you're introducing in the House of Representatives to tie military aid to defunding the IRS for your billionaire and decamillionaire friends, that's going to increase the deficit. How do you explain that? And watch what he says. Play the clip.
I will say there are different analyses, especially when you're looking 10 years out when it comes to bills like this. But in saying that you have no confidence in the CBO and that they have the agenda, they just push the agenda of the administration in power, I've seen you, though, tout the CBO in supporting some of your efforts in the past. I was looking this morning, your office put out a press release from February of this year leaning on the CBO to make your point, calling it a jaw-dropping report coming out from the CBO, reaffirming what you have said about out-of-control spending and national debt for a long time. So what has changed?
Well, the debt ceiling numbers, the CBO can't manipulate. Now, they're not right. They're not wrong 100% of the time, nor are they right 100% of the time. I mean, but what I'm saying is now, let's take the CBO's numbers that if it does increase the deficit, where in the Biden administration's plan can they have an offset? You know, we got 1.7 trillion deficit this year, and where, under any circumstances, can they come to bring themselves to have an offset? They can't cut anything. What about the woke agenda of the military? That's dollars that can be spent on aid to Israel, and to be honest with you, on aid for Ukraine. But they just will not do that. They're intent on bankrupting the country, and we're tired of it here in the House, in particular under Mike Johnson.
And that's what I call MAGA-splaining, folks. It's like talking to a sociopath with Ralph Norman. I mean, they're the ones who added $8 trillion to debt. Ralph Norman did. Donald Trump did. This is not me trying to spin this. When MAGA Republicans were in power, they added more debt than anyone before them. 25% of all of the debt. They printed more money than any Congress ever. $8 trillion in debt. And now they come in and they want to blame President Biden. Again, it's MAGA-splaining. It's sociopathic behavior. And I want to give a special shout out here, though, to Democratic Congresswoman Pingree. She's done a great job, and I haven't really covered the Congresswoman Pingree much, but she certainly is going to be covered now on MeidasTouch Network because she has just the perfect takedown of Marjorie Taylor Greene. And as she says, I had to explain to my Republican colleague from Georgia that Robert E. Lee was not a founding father. It's been a very long day on the House floor. Play this clip.
This is the Democrat and the Biden administration's effort to erase our history, just as they have done to the statue of Robert E. Lee. This is an outrage.
So just to clear up a couple of things, my colleague mentioned the founding fathers. Robert E. Lee was not actually one of the founding fathers. He was a general of the Confederacy. That was the city of Charlottesville. That wasn't a national monument when that statue was removed. And I just have to say, I find it rich that the party that has supported book banning in our libraries, rewriting curriculum, not talking about our history over and over again, is the very one that is saying that we have to often keep painful monuments in places where they do damage, where they interfere with people's ability to enjoy the particular area that they're in, and leave it to the Department of Interior to have that discretion. So if we're going to get into talking about book banning and rewriting history, let's have an honest debate about it and talk about the differences between our two parties on this. I oppose this amendment and I yield back.
And then compare Congresswoman Pingree, compare that to this. This is Lauren Boebert. I don't even know what she's whining about. Lauren Boebert saying that one of the reasons that regulation is harmful is because she says that roughnecks used to come into her restaurant and her floor used to be dirty. It's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Play this clip.
Colorado's West Slope used to have a booming energy production economy. Unfortunately, we've been regulated into poverty in Colorado's 3rd District. I remember when I owned a small business, roughnecks used to come into my restaurant, and I knew that it was going to be a good, successful, profitable day because I had mud on my floor to clean up. But through regulations, there was no more mud to clean up on nearly any of our business floors, and many businesses shuttered forever.
And by the way, it should be noted that Lauren Boebert she voted against the Infrastructure Act to actually bring jobs to her district. It's like, come on, people. Come on, people. And finally, here's the MAGA Republican George Santos, one of the main faces of the modern day Republican Party, saying that, look, people elected me not because I'm a volleyball player. Play the clip.
Voters thought they were electing one person.
Nobody elected me. Nobody elected me because I played volleyball or not. Nobody elected me because I graduated college or not. People elected me because I said I'd come here to fight the swamp. I'd come here to lower inflation, create more jobs, make life more affordable, and the commitment to America. That's why people voted for anybody. To say that they voted based on anybody's biography, I can beg you this. Nobody knew my biography. Nobody opened my biography who voted for me in the campaign.
Folks, you make the call here. You make the call. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. But for me, this isn't, as I said, it's not like a political thing anymore. It's not like, oh, the Democrats, this is progressive and liberal policies, and the Republicans, this is some conservative stuff. That's not the current moment we are living in, right? The question is, do you choose normalcy? Do you choose intelligence? Do you choose adult behavior? Do you choose democracy? That's embodied in the pro-democracy community of Democrats, former Republicans, independents, progressives, liberals, conservatives, independents, people not affiliated with political parties who are just don't need this Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Donald Trump nonsense. Like, we don't need to see this. Here, just play this clip of Trump in Sioux City. Like, he does this in every city. Like, play this clip.
And they're proud, they're clapping, they're going crazy. I can't do it, Mom. I can't. Boom.
Like, what is that? What are you doing? It's disgraceful. It's just embarrassing. So you're pro-democracy, you're pro-normalcy, you're pro-facts, you're pro-evidence, or you're Trump. You're MAGA. You're this wannabe fascism that looks up to Vladimir Putin, that attacks NATO, that looks up to Kim Jong freaking Un. Like, what are you doing? What is that? You woke this, woke that. You're not conservative. You increased the debt $8 trillion. You're going to claim to me you're a fiscal conservative. You increased it $8 trillion. No, you're a sociopath. You're a malignant narcissist. You're part of a MAGA cult, not a political party, a cult movement. And folks, the decision is that simple. So share this video with friends, coworkers, colleagues, family members, anybody you know. Let's just show them we need your help. And one of the next big events in Virginia, there's an election November 7th in Virginia. So please get involved in Virginia. Go to the DNC website. It's an off year in Virginia. So like, not a lot of people have been talking about it, but it's so vital. November 7th. So if you want to do something, help out in Virginia, go to Simon Rosenberg's Substack as well. He lists how you can help. Go to the DNC website and see how you can help in Virginia. Help out Virginia. Let friends know in Virginia pro-democracy needs to turn out and vote. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 2 million subscribers thanks to your support. Hit subscribe and have a great day.
Hey Midas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.